What's up, everybody? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe, where you know I'm going to always serve you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope that your week is going well for you so far. So good. Big ups to all of my subscribers. You know, I don't see you guys just as moderators. I don't see you ladies just as donators. I actually see my subscribers as family. So big ups to my family, and I appreciate all the love, support, donations, and those of you who have just been rocking with me from the beginning of time and still rocking with me. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thought it was very imperative that I did this particular recipe. I did this content today because I'm constantly hearing, other guys ask this question all the time. I'm constantly hearing black men ask the question as to why do black women keep choosing Pookie and Ray-Ray? I'm always hearing that question. Recently I was on somebody's panel and it was brought up. Yeah, I think it was Life Machine Power. Big ups to LMP. And this is a common question in the YouTube streets. Why do women keep choosing Pookie and Ray-Ray? That seems to be the common question that many black men seem to ask. Why do black women keep choosing the Pookies and Ray-Rays, society's bottom better breed of male, or better bottom breed of men? That's a lot of B's, right? So I'm going to basically break down all of the elements as to why women in these day and age, particularly women of my color, black women, as to why, these are the type of breed of men that we keep choosing and we keep selecting. The answer is more simple than what you think. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But again, I thought it was imperative I did this because I need to go more in depth. I need to break it down to the smallest common denominator. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm doing this particular content. So I'm going to start with my reason number one as to why we keep choosing the Pookies and the Ray-Rays. First reason is broken women tend to be more sympathetic to dudes that are on their same level of struggle. Sympathy is often implied as desperation. This not to say that desperation isn't a factor, but when a woman is in a struggle of her own, she's going to most likely gravitate towards a man that shares her struggle. Now, to make this more simple, I can give you some examples of woman who's already in struggle. Let's say she's living in low income housing. She has 5, 6 kids, from 4 or 5 different dudes. And she doesn't have much support. Her family, deals with her, but they deal with her from a distance. She don't, have no like real strong solid support system. None of her baby daddies are there. You know how it go. We hear about these type of females all the time. So basically, when she encounters a Pookie, even though she knows that he doesn't have a whole lot to offer, Pookie may come to her and encounter her knowing he don't have a car. He's, staying crashing from couch to couch with different off of different women. Um, he doesn't really have a job. He's basically he's a better male. He's a bottom of the barrel type of dude. But what ends up happening is the reason why she will gravitate towards this type of guy is because he's in the same level of struggle as she is. And what tends to happen is women, when we are in the struggle, we automatically are going to sympathize with men who we feel like share the same struggles as us. It's harder for women to be able to gravitate towards men who are well established, even though that may be her dream man. I mean, what woman doesn't want a man that's financially well off and doing really well and got a good job, got nice cars? I mean, that's every woman's ideal man. But the truth of the matter is, all women are not qualified to basically connect with those type of dudes, unfortunately. So, and she knows this. She knows that with her baggage, for the most part, she's not going to try to approach a guy that's well established or whatever. Or if she does, she may have this delusional confidence where she feels like she can get any man she wants. But the truth of the matter is, I'll say 8 times out of 10, these type of women know they can't pull these type of men. So this is what makes them resort to picking up the Pookie and the Ray-Ray, because again, they're on the same level. She doesn't have to climb a lot of hurdles to get this man's attention. As for a man who's well established, you got to come correct. A guy that has a good job. He got his own nice condo, or bought his own first home, got good credit. He has a lot of good husband potentials, regardless of all the credentials that he has. But the problem is, because of her baggage, she's not going to be able to draw those type of men, unfortunately. And this is what makes black women, resort to picking up Pookies and Ray Rays. She got to pick up a guy that's on her level of struggle. Like I stated, I had a very dear friend of mine who passed away in 2015. She was a single mom, and she was a workaholic. She took care of her children. She did not have the best relationship with both of her sons' fathers. So she worked. She was self-sufficient. She didn't go around begging and acting like a charity case, like she was stressed out and needed so much help. And she held her own. So not all single women are needy and trifling. You do have a good bit of them out here that are working, and they trying to, make it happen on their own. They not looking for a man to help them clean up the mess they created. And she was one of those women. She handled her business. She didn't look for sympathy, and she didn't look for charity. So she was raising her boys on her own without the assistance, without any child support from the fathers. And all her years of working and being a CNA, like any other woman want a relationship. A woman wants to be loved. I mean, I don't care what these women in the YouTube streets say. Well, I don't need a man. I don't want a man. I'm fine without a man. Even a prostitute at some point is going to want to be loved. Even if she's just doing it for money. You know what I mean? At some point, a woman wants to be loved. And I strongly, strongly believe, this is just my opinion, that when God put Adam here, Adam was put here first, and women, we were created to be desired by a man. And I felt if it wouldn't have been that way, then I strongly believe God would have created woman first, so it would have been natural for us to be alone. And I know I may get some negative flack for this, but the truth of the matter is, women, we're not designed to be alone. We're not supposed to. um you know, God put Eve here to be of a companion, to be of a partner with Adam. Adam was used to being alone. He lived off bread alone. So, we were basically put on this earth, what I'm saying, ladies, to be a gift to men. We are supposed to be a blessing. We're supposed to be with men. We were not really designed to be by ourselves, truth be told. Now, I know the feminist movement has us thinking different. And I get it. And this is not to say you are less of a woman if you don't have a man. This is not to say that either. This is not to say that you can't survive without a man. This is not to say you are less of a woman because you don't have a man. But uh, uh, truth be told, the truth of the matter, the actual factual is women were not put on this earth to be by themselves. And what has happened in society has changed all the dynamics. The feminist movement, this Me Too movement, all of these things that came about to make women feel like men are inadequate to their lives. All of this misconception of what we're supposed to be to men and what men are supposed to be to us has a lot of us as women misinformed, and we wonder why we go through so much, and we wonder why we're so angry and we're so bitter because we're not doing things the way God naturally intended it from day one. We really wasn't supposed to be single moms. I don't care what nobody says. You're not supposed to be a single mother. That really wasn't God's plan. Now I get it. Things happen. You was young, dumb. Maybe you wanted the man, you wanted to marry the man, and he flaked out on you. Things happen. It's not everybody's fault, but in most cases, as women, it is our fault. So the truth of the matter is, what I'm basically saying is, I don't care how strong a woman is, she is eventually going to want a man in her life, and that is what happened with my friend. So during her time of handling her business and taking care of her sons, she met a guy who was not the best candidate as far as having husband potentials, as far as having being relationship material. He was nowhere in that equation, but what he did was he knew how to finesse her. Like most Pookies and Ray-Rays, all Pookies and Ray-Rays, we know they are lame-os, but the truth is they don't always display that right up front. A lot of them in many cases are really smooth. They know how to butter women, they know how to finesse women, they know how to talk the talk, they know how to manipulate women. You got some Pookie and Ray Rays out there, they are professional manipulators, just like you have some females that are gold diggers and they are professional manipulators. They know what to say and what to do to get a man's attention, to get her, she knows how to get her claws into a man, that make a man really catch feelings for her just so she can use him and manipulate him. So we got some professional manipulators, men and women out there, and he was a very professional manipulator. Now keep in mind, again, she was a single mom. She was living in governmental housing at the time because her plans was to save up and get enough money so she can eventually buy her own home. That was her dream to fulfill. And what happened was, and I mentioned the story before for people who probably don't remember. I did this on the old content, maybe a couple of years back. I brought the story, but ironically, he was living in a homeless shelter for men, and I find it ironic that the homeless shelter for single men was right across the street from governmental housing where single mothers were. And I thought that was pretty strange. I'm like, these dudes have easy access to target these type of women. So that's how she met him. She met him. I guess he was scoping her for a while and probably saw her going to her mailbox, walking her boys to school, however. The shelter, like I said, was directly across from the projects where she was staying. So I'm pretty sure he had time to scope out and watch her. So anyway, they did end up getting together. And I remember he didn't have a job. He basically the only thing he had was his backpack with him when he met her. He just came in her life with a duffel bag. He didn't have a pot to piss in on when throw it out of. So basically, she sympathized with him because, again, being a struggling single mom, she automatically sympathized with his struggle. And she took him in her home. I guess after they talked for a couple of months and stuff. And the game plan was she wanted him to move in with her. So He could have got a job and they could have built something together. Since they both came together in the struggle, I guess she figured, okay, we can build a relationship, we can build something, and have something better, so we both could come out the struggle together. Now keep in mind, not all women get with Pookie and Ray Ray's because they look to struggle. In many cases, what a lot of women think, what they assume, is that if I'm struggling and he's struggling, if we both have the willpower or the determination to work and want something, we both could come out the struggle together. Because, like I said, she knows she cannot pick up a dude that's well established. Because a man that's well established, he's going to see her as a liability risk, especially if she has kids from other men. And that's just the God's honest truth. Okay, so she had to take what she can get. And in many cases, instead of what we do as black women, instead of complaining and bickering about what we can't get, we just learn to work with what we can get. At least that's what we should try to do, I guess. So she took him in, and once he got on his feet, he got his job, and slowly but surely, he began to start smelling himself. He thought that once he worked, he thought that the whole time, being that my friend was paying a majority of the bills, he thought the dynamics was not going to change. He figured she was still going to pay the majority of the bills, because in his mind, he felt like he was doing her a favor just by being with her. Now you have some Pookies and Ray Rays. They really think they really are in. They really be in denial. They really be in a delusional denial. Just like you got some of these females around here that be in delusional denial, thinking every man wants them. You have a lot of Pookie and Ray Rays that really, really think they be doing these single moms a favor by being with them, because they know these women are deprived with certain things. So in his mind, he felt like he did her a favor by being with her. Like, hell, at least I'm with you. You ain't even had nobody. He started having this attitude to where he felt some sense of entitlement. Because he wasn't a bad looking guy. Now he wasn't good looking to me at all. I knew the moment I saw him that the dude was full of it. I got this vibe right away, like, man, this dude, he's a user, he's a loser. I knew right off the muscle, but I wasn't in her shoes, you know what I mean? So I know this was a guy she really was feeling. She really liked him like that. She was feeling him like that. But basically, when he got his job, he really acted up. He really started smelling himself. When she would ask him to put money towards certain things, he would get an attitude. Or either he would do the bare minimum. He'll do just enough to keep her mouth closed. He'll fetch a little bird seeds, put some gas on the car, because you got some dudes that are like that. You got some dudes, they're not real providers, but what they will do is they will fetch a woman bird seeds. Here's a little gas money. I'll buy you some little Chinese food. I'll buy your kids some pizza. Do little favors just to be on her good graces. That way he can get around not having to be really responsible. He figured if he do little stuff, let me buy little things here and there. I ain't got to pay the light bill. I ain't got to pay the rent, as long as I'm throwing little bird seeds. And she was catching on to that because she wasn't no dummy. She was like, nah, I took you in when you didn't have anything. And see, that's the thing about being a black woman. If you take a man in when he's down, thinking y'all going to get better, you're labeled as desperate. You're labeled as stupid. But if a woman of another race does it, then that means she's down by law. She's willing to accept a man for his flaws. She's not a gold digger. So, I mean, being a woman of color, we really can't win. Our intentions are going to look bad, even if we have the best of intentions, regardless of what. You know what I mean? But like I said, if any other race does it, oh, she loves him for who he is. She's a down chick. She's loyal because she didn't wait till he got big to have money. Well, guess what? You got some black women who have stood by their men when they didn't have nothing to window pot to piss in or window throw it out of, but she's not giving any credit for it. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's why she picked him up, and he became her worst nightmare. So I don't lose track of my thought. He became her worst nightmare. He was very verbally abusive. In some cases, he was physically abusive. She found out she took in a monster, and all because she was sympathizing with him in his struggle. Because we found out eventually him doing the things he was doing was because his intentions were not uh nowhere like hers. She wanted a relationship. She wanted a family. She wanted to build something. He, on the other hand, his agenda was totally different from hers. And like in the words of Pastor Jakes, when you build a relationship off an agenda, it's not going to last. And that's what happened. He didn't come in that relationship for the same reasons that she thought he was coming in for. He basically wanted to be free. He wanted to be set free out of the shelter. He wanted to get out of poverty. He wanted a woman that he could live off of and take advantage of. And he took advantage of her to the fullest until my friend passed away. So he was 10 years older than my friend. And she's, although she had been with older guys before, he had never been with a woman of her caliber, a woman that was loving, caring, giving, was willing to accept him at his worst so she could help him to get at his best. He wasn't used to that. So meeting a woman of her caliber, he didn't know how to handle it. He mistreated her, he dogged her, he did a lot of mean, nasty, disrespectful things to her. I remember one time he ruined her Mother's Day. He was an anti-social type of dude because he had been in and out of prison for many years. And like I said, he lived in a homeless shelter, so the guy wasn't really stable. And I knew something was up with him because his own family really didn't deal with him much. And I always question people when their own family never really rock with them. And the fact that his own mom never really had too much dealings with him, and his mom was pretty rude to her as his wife, because she did marry him, which we all was against her marrying him, but that's what she wanted to do, so we had to support it. But I saw the signs there that the guy was going to bring her trouble. And by his family not really dealing with him, and his mom didn't like her. And that's when I explained to my friend, because she couldn't understand why his mom was kind of mean and nasty to her. I said, look, in many cases, sometimes when you meet somebody's family, you dating a woman or you just married a man or a woman, and the family is rude and nasty to you, and you've never done anything to the family for the family to be rude and nasty, 9 times out of 10 they treat you some type of way because they have a strong dislike for your mate. And that happens in many cases. A lot of people don't understand that. I don't know why my in-laws don't like me. I don't know why they be so cold to me when I come around. A lot of it has to do with the fact it got nothing to do with you. They just don't like the person you with. So they go to automatically associate their hate for that person. They're going to connect it with you. If they don't like him, if everybody, if your husband or your wife, nobody in the family likes your husband, nobody in the family, his family doesn't like your husband, or nobody in your wife's family likes her, they're not going to like you too. You know what I mean? I don't, whether if it's stuff that happened in the past in the family that they're not being honest about. It's a reason for everything. And sometimes you have to do your research in order for you to find out, why your in-laws may be kind of disrespectful to you or rude to you. It may not have nothing to do with you. It just may have something to do with your husband or your wife burnt a lot of bridges in the family or did a lot of corrupt stuff in the family. So when that person brings you around, it's like, oh, here it is. She got another one, or he got another one. She got another fool, or he got another dummy. And I told my friend that's the reason why her husband's family was rude to her. And we found out him and his mom did not have a good relationship, and he wasn't honest, and he didn't tell her that. She thinking the lady just being a bitch to her just because. But when we got down to the root of it, we found out his own mama couldn't stand him. I mean, I remember they went to a family event. I think it was Thanksgiving or something. And she was so excited. She was looking forward to going to meet his mom. And she made this big old thing of red rice. And when they got up there, the lady was, she spoke to her, but you could tell the lady wasn't really feeling her. And you can tell that he was really trying to kiss up to his mom and, hi mom, what's up mom? He was trying to be this old lovey-dovey type of son. And you could tell the mama wasn't really feeling it. She was just tolerating him being there, to the point that when it was time for them to go home, she had all this food and he wanted to take some food back. And I remember her saying, you could tell his own mama didn't even want him taking no food back. And he was like, well, mama, we can't fix a plate of food. All this food you got in here. I mean, it's only you and my niece and nephew. All this food. I know y'all ain't gonna eat all of this. And she was like, nah, I got family coming over later. I got guests coming over later. You could just tell the mom was just a straight witch. And he was trying so hard to earn his mom's love and trying to get his mom's recognition. And I had to tell my friend, I said, look, friend, let me tell you, your husband ain't being honest with you. It's the reason why his mama being the way she is. I don't know if he was a troubled kid. He always been in and out of jail. It's the reason why she's being nasty to him. And it's causing her to be nasty to you. And we find out all later, later on the truth came out that, yeah, he had did a lot to his family. He done stole cars, stole money because he been on drugs and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, my friend ended up passing away in 2015. So in result of that, he lost everything. He lost everything. And he didn't see her death coming no more than any of us did. And he thought he was going to be able to live off of this woman for the rest of her life and take advantage of her. And he looked up and he was blessed. He had a good wife that was willing to accept him at his worst. And he acted ass. He acted a straight clown. He ruined her Mother's Day. Mother's Day, she wanted them to all go out to go meet with her family. And, he was intentionally being an ass the whole time going, and he just did all kind of stuff. I'm not gonna go all into that or whatever, but you get what I'm saying. But basically that's my point. This is just an example of women picking up a Pookie and Ray-Ray, thinking you're gonna be able to build with them, thinking if y'all on the same level of struggle, y'all both should be able to build. But the problem is, if that person does not have the same ambition you have, or if they don't have the same desire to want more, then you practically in a no-win situation. That's what happened. Now keep in mind, there are some exceptions in which a bottom better broad will try to reach beyond her means, but rarely will she succeed in doing that, which makes her resort to number two. Number two is, well-established men see her as a liability. Men that are of good substance, character, morals, and stability will not be interested in her. This is just the whole bottom line. Like I said, I hear men all the time talking about how black women don't know how to choose a good man. Well, the problem is the good men that are selectable, that are choosable, if that's even a word. The problem is they are not interested in these type of women. And it's not that I'm knocking them for not being interested in. I understand everybody got their preference. A man has every right to decide not to be a janitor. To pick up a woman that already has kids from a previous relationship. I mean, I get it. I on the other hand, I was the same way. I didn't want to pick up a man that had kids from other women. I didn't want to deal with the baby mama drama. So I get it. Everybody has their preferences. But at the same time, you can't knock these women for going for Pookies and Ray-Rays, because you're not going to get them a chance. You're not going to take them in your nice 5-4 bedroom condo that you brought with your top-notch credit. You're not going to take them in with your two-seater Mercedes convertible. I mean, most men that are well established, they are enjoying their lives. They're either enjoying being a bachelor, or either they are already married and have a family of their own, or they decided to go the other way. So I mean, it makes it harder for women to be able to have choices. And if she put herself in a discardable situation, meaning she has a lot of baggage, she has a lot of responsibility, she has a lot of emotional baggage, she has a lot of financial baggage, it's not too many dudes, not dudes of quality and substance, they are not going to go for this kind of women. It don't matter if she has a good heart. It don't matter if she's the type of woman, if he was to take her in, she's going to make sure, her kids don't burden him financially. She's going to work. She's not going to try to, push her responsibilities off on him. It don't matter even if she balances it out or knows how to level her responsibilities from not being a burden to her man. He's not going to want to rock with her. Men that are well established do not want women that are that have a lot of excess baggage. So the only man that's going to pick her up is a Pookie Ray-Ray. Okay, so she has to take what's willing to take her, because at the end of the day, women do not want to be by themselves. I know you hear all these content creators saying these black single moms, they don't need to be dating, they don't need to be looking for no man. The problem is they're going to always look for a man. It don't matter what people say, it don't matter how people feel. A woman is a woman. At the end of the day, a woman wants to be desired. A woman wants to be kept. Even if she put herself, even if she placed herself in unkeepable situations by laying with all kind of random dudes, dealing with all kind of, having all kind of random baby daddies and stuff, she still wants a man to want her. Okay, and no matter how much a lot of these guys on the YouTube streets be preaching to these Pookies and Pookies and Ray-Rays are still going to mess with these females. These females are not getting pregnant by themselves. Okay, so they have to resort to the Pookie and the Ray-Ray, and that's what it boils down to.
Oil. That's in that green glass.
I didn't see. I didn't see it. Check that little dustpan thing, because I think I missed and swept it up. That's what I was saying before I was interrupted. And that's basically what it boils down to. She can't. She's not a prime candidate for a man that's well established. She's not a prime candidate. He would never nominate this type of female. She would never be in the running. So she has to choose a Pookie and a Ray-Ray. Now, the third reason as to why women resort to the Pookies and Ray-Rays is Pookie knows how to fulfill her sexual needs. Pookie doesn't have a job, so he has all the stamina in the world to please a woman. Now, the problem with a lot of women and a lot of us as black women is too many of us that are still being deceived. Not deceived, deceived. It's a lot of us as black women, we're constantly being deceived, and you would have figured by now that we are in the year of 2019, that most of these women would have figured it out by now, that wood isn't everything. That is just a bonus. Even if it's good wood, it's just a bonus, but it should not be the only asset he has to contribute. Okay, and that is the problem, and that's where we have been failing as women, by being deceived. I don't care how great a man is in bed. I don't care if he knows how to make you pant. I don't care if he knows how to make you scream. I don't care if he knows how to make you moan and groan, or if he has the tongue of a god. The bottom line is, if that is all he has to offer, uh basically you're in a losing situation, because wood can't compensate for everything. You need a man that's going to be a real man. He's going to have to be a provider. He's going to have a job, a job. I don't care if it's Popeye's chicken. He's going to have to pull his weight as a man. And him just banging you on your Renaissance mattress furniture, that is not going to fulfill the voids that you need him to fulfill as a man. And the problem is so many women that are becoming more and more digmatized. The Pookie and Ray-Rays could get away with murder as long as they know how to bang a bra's back out, and she can see that she's losing. She sees the bills are piling up. She sees he's burning all the gas out her car. She got to keep filling the tank back up. She could see he's eating up everything and not working and putting back all of what he's using. She sees that she's losing, but her psyche is so damaged and limited to the point to where all he has to do is give her 5 minutes of an orgasm. And it seems like the moment she has that orgasm, all of what she's losing with him, it just goes out the door for the moment. It's like he knows how to medicate her dumbness by, throwing her pipe. He knows as long as he's good with his stroke game and his tongue game, he can make her forget about how pathetic and how sorry of a loser he is. And I see females do this all the time. They will sit up here and complain to their girlfriends. He's not helping. He's not contributing. He's not this. He's not that. Or they're either fake and pretend, oh, I got a good man. I got a good this, he's that. But behind closed doors, the light bill, he's not paying the light bill. He's not paying the water bill. He's not paying the truck note. She knows financially she's drowning. And all he has to do is basically, you know, uh fulfill her with his stroke game. And as soon as he gets out that bed with her, after he has helped her to orgasm and bust a few, she goes back to her job and she tries to find ways of doing it on her own, even without him helping. Well, I know Pookie, he ain't no good, but he is fulfilling my needs and he is, putting it down in the bedroom. So I guess I'm just gonna have to make arrangements with this light bill. I'm just gonna have to take a second job. She'll find the ways to compensate for it, for his lack of being a man, all because he's great in bed. And we as black women, we have a bad problem with this. Y'all have to stop being, manipulated by these dudes' stroke game. Because the reality is, what goes on in the bedroom, it probably is not gonna last. What the average sexual encounter, what could last maybe an hour, 30 minutes, but debt is a lifetime. Okay, bills are a lifetime. How long are you just gonna keep, jumping in the sack with him to get over the fact that he's not contributing, he's not compensating, he's not doing his part as a man? So I don't know how long you think that sex is going to make up or compensate for him not being responsible and him not helping you pull the weight. But this is another reason why a lot of us as black women, we're so miserable, because we know we're in a losing situation. But it has gotten to the point where a piece of man is better than no man at all. And women, they don't want to be by themselves. And again, if they know their liability risk, they can't be choosy. They can't pick up something better than what they got. So a lot of them are not strong enough to be by themselves. It's better, if a woman is by herself. And if you're going to struggle on your own. Don't bring somebody else on and put them on to help you struggle even more. You know what I mean? But it's easier said than done. Number 4, so little means so much because she's down to nothing. Every little thing he does feels like it's more than enough. Now, this is another way that Pookies and Ray-Rays have a way of finessing women. What they do is they do just enough to get by. Because again, a man that's well established, he's not even going to look her way. He's not even going to try to get to know her. If he does deal with her, it's going to be like a smash session and nothing else, because even a well established man, let's face it, they got needs that got to be fulfilled too, in some cases they got steak and potatoes at home, but hell, don't mean they don't want a chili dog every now and again. So what happens is, again, she can't lock in the well-established dude. She can't lock in the man that has his own business, that has a good job, that's pushing 80,000 a year, whatever the case may be. She can't get that kind of dude. So it gives these Pookies and Ray-Rays a big advantage. When a woman who has been down on her luck in the dating department, meaning she has not been successful at getting married, she hasn't been able to get a husband, or if she has been dating, she hasn't been lucky enough to finally lock a man in and make him be with her and build a relationship with her. This gives Pookies and Ray Rays a big advantage, especially for single black women in the black community. It gives them a big advantage, whether she's a single mom or a single woman. But it's even more of a bigger advantage if she's a single mom. So the little bit that he does, it means a lot because again, she's never had a man do nothing. So whatever he does, it looks like a whole lot. Pookie and Ray Rays could get away with, if they meet a woman that's down on her luck, he could just put gas on her car. It means a lot to her because she never even had a man even offer to put gas on her car. He can get away with just buying her kids a $5 hot and ready box of pizza. In her mind, that means a lot, especially if none of her baby daddies ever never did nothing, never stepped up, never even offered to give her $5 for her kids field trips or whatever. So if she's meeting this man doing little minute favors, depending on how down and out she has been, it could mean a whole lot for her, and these Pookie and Ray Rays, they're smart, they're very strategic. They know they can get away with doing kibbles and bits. Like I remember this one particular female years ago, she was really down on her luck. I mean, she was not the most attractive female. She was one of those Wolverine, rhinoceros type of looking females in the face, not so much the weight, but the face. She was not pleasing to the eye. And she always was able to get guys, to use her, but she was never able to get men to like stay with her and build with her or want a relationship with her. So she did meet one Pookie. He really wasn't that interested in her. But what happened was, his mama, him and his mama kept getting into it because he didn't want to work. He wasn't mowing the grass. I mean, he was just lame, ain't staying with his mama, didn't want to do nothing to help his mama out. His mom was up in her age or whatever. So what he was doing was, he started kind of finessing the lady I was telling you about, where they started dating. Like she would keep a change jar in her house. And around the time they were dating, he would go over there a lot and she would cook for him and do little stuff because she's trying to win him over. Because again, she doesn't feel like she's that attractive. So she tries to go the extra mile with men to get a man to be interested and want to actually stay with her. So she's doing all this extra wifey stuff. And she would keep like a jar in her living room. And every time he came, he would put like $1 or 50 cents or something in her jar, because everybody will all keep a change jar and stuff. And in her mind, it meant a lot to her. She really thought that meant something. Yeah, he come by and I noticed, he be putting change in the jar and this and that. And, in her mind, a real woman would have knew that's not being no real man just because he put change in her jar. But in her psyche, because she's so desperate, and damaged, she has had the best of luck with men, the little bit he was doing seemed like a lot. So sooner or later he was able to work his way into her, and he did. She moved him in, and he still wouldn't work no real job. So what she would do is, he would do like little hustles, and she supported him in his hustles because that's just how bad she did not want to be by herself. He would go cut people's grass on the lawn, so she would support him by letting him put his big old lawnmower in the back seat of her car. I mean, her car was like one of them small little Geo Metro cars. I mean, like real small. And the lawnmower was bigger than her car. And she would ride him around, helping him look for somebody's lawn to cut. You know what I mean? Just doing some below the barrel like stuff instead of encouraging this man to go get a real job. She up here supporting him with hustles at the time before iTunes and all that got popular. Everybody was buying CDs, music with CDs and stuff. He would burn CDs and sell those out the trunk of her car, or be standing in front of the dollar store trying to sell CDs. And she supported him on that. She would sit in the car with him for hours just for him to sell $5, CDs and stuff like that. And he ended up going to prison, and that's a long story. But anyway, um, it doesn't take much for Pookie and a Ray Ray to be pleased. She doesn't have to do a lot to please him because again, he's just trying to use her anyway, and so it does not take much for her to win a Pookie and Ray Ray over. Uh, on the other hand, if it was a man of substance, a man that's used to the best and having the best and used to the best of things, she cannot win him over. With just cooking a meal here and there, she's gonna have to really prove that she's worthy, especially if she's trying to get a man of substance and of quality. These brothers on that type of level. Any woman can't just pick them up or scoop them up. Now, any woman can smash these kind of dudes, I think. And even with that, certain brothers are becoming more selective about who the hell they smash. They're not just smashing anybody because back in the day, you used to look like a crypt keeper, and a man will still smash you. But now, dudes ain't even just smashing any type of female anymore. Now you have to look a certain way. Now you do have some guys, depending on if you catch them in a desperate moment, especially after they done had some Hennessy and some cognac, then that may be a different story. But that's another reason. He knows Pookie has an advantage, especially with a woman that has low self esteem, and he uses it his advantage. So whatever little bit he does, it seems like a lot. Now, reason number 5, and I got 3 more reasons after that. Pookie is good to her kids. Now, Pookie and Ray Ray's, they know how to finesse single mothers like no other. I mean, they know how to butter single moms. They know how to make women feel like they really have a love for their kids. And as single mothers, you have to be careful not to get got because you want so badly for your kids to have a father because you may not have a good relationship with your children's biological father, or maybe he's incarcerated, or maybe he was married, and whatever the circumstances are. Single moms are the most vulnerable. They can become the most desperate because again, they want to automatically make up for the fathers that are not there in their kids' life. So whatever they have to do, to get that instant replacement. The moment a man comes around their children, he's smiling and grinning with them. He's doing little favors for them. He's buying them little trinkets and doing little sidekick favors, buying them crystals and little white castles and stuff like that. You falling head over heels because you're so glad that somebody is accepting your children, but not realizing that is his way of finessing you. He's not even into you or your children. He's just playing the role so he don't have to live with his mama anymore. He don't have to live with his homeboys anymore. He's looking for a place to stay. In some cases, some of these guys don't have the best of intentions. Some of them are undercover child molesters. Some of them are registered sex offenders. And I done told women 1,000 times they need to check their local website, check their local registration offenders list. Just about every county have one. You need to know who you are bringing around your children. Pookies, in many cases, they don't even take care of their own kids. I know many of them who have finessed women by being nice to their kids and doing favors for their kids to to get in good the woman who they was trying to use, but yet they got 5, 6, 7 other kids on the outside, and they baby mamas ain't getting nothing out of them. It's just amazing, how these same Pookies, they know how to play the role. And they very manipulative. They very conniving guys. They're not dumb guys. Pookies are lame, but they're not stupid. They're professional manipulators. They know how to smoothly get their way in to being in a woman's good graces. And if you are a woman, you are desperate, you lack self-esteem, it's easy for you to get manipulated and for you to get swooned by these type of guys. So that's another reason a lot of women keep rocking with Pookies and Ray Rays is because these type of dudes, they're good to their kids. They know how to play the stepdaddy and act like the stand-up dude, and all they trying to do is build this fake bond That way, that's their way of building a nest into the woman's home he's trying to move in. So um women have to be very careful with that. Every guy that's nice to your kids, that don't mean they need to move in with you and your kids, and that don't mean your kids need to be calling them daddy. Y'all got to be way more careful with that, ladies. This is another thing. Pookies and Ray Rays, all Pookies and Ray Rays are not ugly. Okay, all Pookies and Ray Rays are not what we think they are. When we hear the word Pookie and Ray Ray, what usually comes to mind is we think of a guy that's walking around with his pants sagging. He got on Jordans. His pants sagging with his boxers on, and you can see little skid marks through his boxers. He got the long nappy dreads, or he got the short nappy hair. I mean, we have our own stereotype. In other words, not all Pookie and Ray Rays look dusty. That's what I'm saying. All of them don't have dusty looks. You have some Pookies and Ray Rays that are well dressed, they're well mannerable, and some of these Pookie and Ray Rays, they do have swag. They know how to dress. They know how to make themselves look good to where it's not as disguisable that he's a Pookie or Ray Ray. Okay, he's not all Pookie and Ray Rays. All of them don't wear wife beaters. Okay, all of them are not wearing the latest fashions. And I mean, they aren't always raggedy looking. That's what I'm saying. Some of them know how to play the part. So if he's good looking, if he's handsome, if he's fine, if he's a fine ass Pookie and Ray Ray, oh, he can easily get any woman he wants. If he's fine and he knows how to dress and he has stroke game in the bedroom, these are the matter of fact, these type of Pookies and Ray Rays, they are the ones that usually end up getting the most majority of women. They get the majority of stupid women, desperate women, but they end up getting the most women because you have some women that are so infatuated with how a man looks. You have women that still only deal with dudes based on how a dude looks. He could be no good. He could be sorry as hell, unemployed. They will pick up an unemployed pretty boy Floyd. They will pick up a Floyd in a heartbeat. Long as he looks good and he makes the passenger side of her Toyota Camry look good, she can bring him around his friends. Ooh, girl, you check out my man Floyd. Don't my man look cute? Don't my man look fine? You have some grown women who act like little girls when it comes to how a man look. I have heard conversations in which grown women will be sitting up there talking like little high school girls. Oh, and he's so fine. Girl, he looks so good. My man is fine. Girl, my man looks good. I'm like, you're a grown woman. You still on looks. Now, this is not to say I understand a woman shouldn't be attracted to a man that's good looking, because I would be lying. But my thing is, I am amazed at how some of these full grown women have the minds of little girls that specifically only want men who look good. He don't have to have a job. He don't have to have a car. He can have 8, 9 baby mamas. She still wants him because he looks good, because he's tall, or because he has a nice body, or because he knows how to dress. Yeah, he's wearing these Jordans and these nice clothes, but that's because he's living off of the women, or either your dumb ass the one paying for it. But you have a lot of women, they are infatuated with a man's looks. They always going off how good a man looks. And this has killed a lot of us as black women because we're too busy looking at how good a man looks versus looking at the facts, is he good for us? What, you would rather have this drop dead gorgeous looking Pookie who doesn't have a job, who would drive your car around all day and burn the gas out, drink up all your kids' Capri Suns, eat up all they damn Cheetos and salt and vinegar chips. He's swiping your bank card when you in your sleep. He's stealing your car while you knock out sleeping because you've been the one working all day, and he been home eating up everything and watching Netflix and Hulu. And yet You would rather be with him than to be with a guy that may not be all that attractive, but he's works, he provides, he's not going to drain you financially, mentally. It's a lot of us as black women, we are still falling prey to how a man looks. I don't care how good he looks. If he's not good for you, then you need to abort the damn mission, because you're going to find yourself drained, and that same brother is going to be the fall of your demise. He's going to cause you to hate all black men because you're giving him too much energy. You're giving him too much time. You're giving him too much of yourself. He's going to be your main downfall. He's going to cause you to be bitter. He's going to cause you to be resentful of all black men because you putting too much into him. And a relationship is like a bank account. If a person just keeps withdrawing and withdrawing and never depositing, guess what? You end up with insufficient funds. So women, y'all have to get off the looks. I don't care if he's light skinned, brown skinned, curly hair, 6'7", 12 inches long. Uh, Let me tell you something. Care how good he looks. If he's a brother with nothing to offer, he's going to drain you. He's going to become a problem in your life. He's going to bring you more problems than a little bit. And number seven, why women keep choosing Pookies and Ray-Rays. We all heard of it, low self-esteem. A woman who doesn't feel valuable enough. I always say this. You could tell a lot about a man, you can tell a lot about a woman based on the type of people they choose to be in a relationship with. When I see a nice looking man with a woman that may be attractive but she's bitchy, she treats him all kind of way, and she has a nice body, and but she treats him like a simp in front of people, and he just stands there and deals with it. That lets me know what's in his character. That lets me know he's a man, he lacks low self-esteem. He's willing to let a woman treat him less of a man, all because she looks pretty, because she looks good. That lets me know you basically he's one of them cottonelle tissue type of guys. He's a softie, he's a simp, he's a wuss. I could meet a woman, and if she has a guy that's good looking but he's disrespectful to her, and he's saying all kind of rude things in front of her family, in front of her friends, and she doesn't check him or put him in his place. That lets me see her for the type of female she is. You a woman, you have low self-esteem. For you to sit there and pick up a man like that, and for him to disrespect you, and you don't see nothing wrong with it, that says a lot about your character. So with that being stated, you can learn a lot about a person based on who they choose. And that's how it's a big red flag that a woman lacks low self-esteem, which is why she picks up Pookie and Ray Ray. She doesn't feel valuable. She doesn't feel worthy. She does not feel like she's worth of quality for a man that's worth something. So she's willing to deal with the Pookie and Ray Rays. And lastly, some women, the reason why they're attracted to Pookie and Ray Ray is because guess what? They father may be a Pookie and Ray Ray. Or their brother may be a Pookie and Ray Ray. Women who have Pookie and Ray Rays in a family and has a sense of being programmed with the mentality that Pookies and Ray Rays are really not that bad. You have some women who've been raised in single parent households, and they always had that one brother who was always able to get away with everything. Their mother may have allowed that brother to uh get away with being irresponsible, not being a man, or her mother may have cuddled her brother, and basically she was raised in an environment where Pookie and Ray Ray's behavior has been acceptable. So if her mom always allowed her brother to do that, and she's always experienced that, now this is not in all cases, this is just for this case. Um, she may see it normal. A man that's always whining and crying because he can't have his way, bitching like a woman because he can't do what he want to do, or he can't have what he want to have. He's emotionally imbalanced. If she's been raised in the same household with another woman that has enabled her son's Pookie and Ray Ray behavior, she's going to think that's normal. So she could pick up a Pookie and Ray Ray. If it's not her brother, her father. Was her father a Pookie and Ray Ray? Believe it or not, a lot of black women, some of them have dysfunctional black fathers. It's not just dysfunctional black mothers. I've seen a lot of cases. I know some families personally where their father is a 70 and 80-year-old Pookie and Ray Ray. He been a Pookie and Ray Ray all his life since 1925. Okay, since slaves were taken from their own land to the United States. Okay, he been Pookie and Ray Ray all his life, and it never left his system. He's in his 70s, he's in his 80s. He's a grandfather. He's a great grandfather. He's still a Pookie and Ray Ray. He still thinks that the world should bow down to him. The world should enable him. I know some full grown men that are used to having women cater to them, that are used to having their own children cater to them. I know older Pookie and Ray Rays that they wives pay all their bills. Believe it or not, Pookie and Ray Ray is not just a new school thing. Believe it or not, it has occurred back in the days as well. Nah, it is not as it wasn't as frequent as it is today. But believe it or not, you got some black women who were raised by Pookie and Ray Rays. They've seen their father not do nothing. They've seen their mother enable their father. I know a guy now. I know somebody's father now. He's darn near in his 70s, and he has taken his wife's check the majority of all her life. She gets checks from the state, and he's never worked. He's always did little odd jobs here and there, but he's never had a real solid job where he can retire from because he's always lived off of his wife's money. He lived off of her money when he was in his 20s and 30s. Here it is, he's in his 60s going into his early 70s. He's still living off her money. So believe it or not, you have some older Pookies and Ray Rays, they never outgrow it. This is not something that just started going on. Okay, so if a woman has been raised in that environment where her brother is a Pookie and Ray Ray, or her father is a Pookie and Ray Ray, she's going to pick up another Pookie and Ray Ray because that Pookie and Ray Ray mannerism has been displayed and demonstrated in front of her the majority of her life, so she sees it as normal. See, a lot of people in the YouTube streets, they don't talk about stuff like this. And this is why I thought it was very imperative that I share this content with you. These are just, I'm sure there's many other reasons. If anybody could think of any other factors that I did not mention, feel free to comment below as to why you think some of these women are picking up these Pookies and Ray Ray. Or if you felt like I hit it all on the head, then let me know. Yeah, Mocha, yeah, you right. Pretty much you broke down all the elements and everything. So I just want to make sure we all are on the same page. But anyway, y'all, it's been lovely. I just want to share this content because, again, a lot of guys are always asking this question. And, I just felt like, I listen to my subscribers. I may not always reply to y'all every time y'all post, but trust and believe, if I don't post, I read just about every post I get because it comes to my phone and I read when y'all comment back. So even if I don't hit you back or whatever, it doesn't mean I'm not acknowledging it. Sometimes, I'll just go and write my notes down so I can get ready to address it. So I just thought it was imperative that I shared this. Women, be careful. Beware of the Pookies and Ray Rays. Don't let desperation sink in. Don't become deceived by the manipulation that these Pookie and Ray Rays, these manipulative tactics and strategies that these dudes are coming up with, because you will get physically, emotionally, and spiritually drained. Anyway, y'all, it's been real. It is your girl, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off a slice of knowledge. Y'all be blessed. Happy Tuesday. Holla at y'all later. Bye.